Never look at yourself in the mirror in quite the same way after you hear our next story. Did you know you have tiny, microscopic creatures living on your face? We all do, even those glamour-puss movie stars gazing at themselves in mirrors everywhere. For Tiff, these are called face mites. But before you get super grossed out and rush off to wash your face and scrub it vigorously, listen up. Our science columnist, Torah Kachur, is here to explain what new research is revealing about the little critters on our faces. Hi, Torah.
Hello.
This is alarming. What are these face mites and what do they look like?
Well, they're dwellers of our skin. They're quite small. They're about a half a millimeter long or less, 100 to 200 micrometers long. So very tiny. They're not visible with the human eye, anyone who's staring in the mirror right now or running to it. They're semi-transparent. They have 8 legs. They kind of look like a tiny, in a way, see-through caterpillar is the best way to describe it. And they can move, they can walk on those little legs, they can move across our faces, especially at night. They tend to not like light so much, so they're moving about 10 millimeters per hour. Now, you can't feel them. Again, they're so microscopic you can't feel them. What was interesting, and there's new research from North Carolina State University that suggests that all adults have face mites. That's new. It used to think that was a subset of people, 10 to 20%, that had these face mites. And in fact, it's not just one species, it's 2 species that we're home to. They're Demodex folliculorum and Demodex brevis. These are found in all adults. So that's news to everyone.
Great. Not just one, but 2 kinds. So what is the difference between these 2 species?
What's interesting is it's very different where they live on our faces. When you think about our face, it actually is composed of a lot of different unique habitats. If you think about it as like a little planet for microscopic creatures. There's Demodex brevis is a type of mite that burrows into the pores of our skin. It's actually evolved the perfect shape to wiggle in the pores. So you leave it in your skin. Whereas Demodex folliculorum lives on the hair follicles, so closer to the surface, eyelashes, eyebrows, facial hair, that's where those are. Now, what's interesting to note is that where they live really has a lot of impact on how they occur in populations and what that tells us about humanity.
What does where they live on our faces, why does that matter?
Well, the lead author on this particular new work, Megan Tamis's, it kind of explained to me a little bit of the big picture that came with this research.
Mites that are collected from China are distinct from mites collected in the Americas. So we can see when these mites evolved with human populations and which human populations may have radiated at different times and at the same time, and how they could be related to one another just based on their mites.
So in fact, they're kind of a little window because they move with us, especially the ones, the brevis, the burrowing type. Because they're not transferred easily between people, we can use mite genetics to look at human evolutionary history, migration patterns, radiation patterns that we see, as well as distinguishing between populations. We can learn so much information about us from our face mites.
Wow. And do they have a purpose for us? I mean, why do we have these?
You know what? At this point, we really don't know. It's just been this past week we learned how ubiquitous they really are, the fact that we all have them. But we know that mites exist on a lot of different mammals. There's a current study underway looking at the different primates. And, face mites have probably been with us for our entire existence, our 6 million years of existence for hominids. So we don't even know what they eat. Whether they could eat dead skin cells or bacteria or the skin of our secretions, we just don't know. But the fact that they're so universal, hey, maybe a column like this will inspire people to study face mites.
Or get scrubbing on their face. No, I know that's not going to work. And where do they come from?
Well, generally it's considered that we get them from human to human contact. So Megan Tamis has looked into this as part of her research as well.
It's completely unclear at this point whether they're moving from parent to child during breastfeeding. They are found in mammary tissue, and it's also been proven that they're moving from a dog to its nursing pups during feeding. But they also could be moving more readily between humans than we would anticipate.
And this is true for the one that lives on the surface of your skin near your hair follicles, because it looks like that's shared a lot more than you'd like to imagine between people, you know, who have intimate contact. I know it sounds all very unappetizing to talk about, but you know what? Before today, you never were bothered by them, and now they're just still there. You're not doing any harm.
It's like I remember seeing on TV the close-up of the bed night and thinking, you know, I kind of liked it better when I didn't know they were in my bed with me. Anyway, this is good. Thank you, Torah.
You're welcome.
Our science columnist, Torah Kachur. You can follow her throughout the week on Twitter. She's at Dr. Torah Kachur, and she joins us every week at this time to talk science.
In Liberty Village, this is